Hello and thank you for joining us for this special edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Isabella Sayers. This special is what we call the season finale for the Newsfeed. In this show, we will revisit some stories and report new ones making headlines at Virginia Tech and in the New River Valley. In the first half of our newscast, we will look specifically at stories related to the Virginia Tech community. And later in the show, we turn our attention to news around the New River Valley area. Right now, a look at Virginia Tech news. Preparing for college graduation is stressful enough. Preparing for college graduation in the midst of a pandemic almost seems impossible. But Virginia Tech has announced an in-person graduation for the class of 2021. Virginia Tech will host 16 in-person commencement ceremonies in Lane Stadium, May 10th through the 16th. That will be divided up by college to celebrate graduating Hokies while also adhering to public health guidelines. While all of Hokie Nation is thrilled to commemorate this milestone in person, it will not be a traditional commencement ceremony. Graduates and guests will not be permitted to gather in large numbers outside of the stadium. Tailgating and congregating will not be allowed, and public measures will still be in place.
We need to still wear our masks. We still need to stay physically distant. We still need to get our vaccinations, and the university continues to encourage all of that. And that is what our commencement is going to look like.
Registration for graduating students and their guests is required, and each graduate may invite up to 4 guests. The entire community is encouraged to celebrate online Friday, May 14th at 6:15 p.m. for the university-wide virtual commencement ceremony. Students, families, friends, and alumni can all participate. With COVID-19 vaccinations being administered to the general public and the 2020-2021 academic school year coming to an end, college students have begun to wonder what next school year will be like in regards to COVID-19 restrictions and procedures. With more on this story is Newsfeed reporter Madeline Kears-Hayden.
When alone in residence hall rooms with members of their own pod or engaged in outdoor activities alone, students are not required to wear a face mask, but must be ready to put one on if they encounter other individuals. While few restrictions have been lifted, Virginia Tech students and staff are hopeful that campus life will return to normal next academic year. Currently, Virginia Tech has begun administering COVID-19 vaccines to their students, yet they have not stated if incoming students are required to get the vaccine before coming to campus next year. Resident advisor Nicholas Meeks-Sams spoke with me on his thoughts regarding COVID-19 policies changing in the residence halls.
If Tech requires that all students be vaccinated before coming, then I think mask wearing should be kind of like an optional thing in some cases, and definitely for the outside. I don't think there should be, but inside it depends.
Virginia Tech's decision to make getting the COVID-19 vaccine mandatory for incoming and returning students, staff, and faculty will determine the alteration of COVID-19 procedures for the upcoming school year. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Madeline Kears-Hayden.
Student dining jobs are holding up well despite COVID-19. However, as a result of the pandemic, there are a lot less students working in the dining centers. With COVID restrictions easing on Virginia Tech's campus, there's a need for more student employees to help in dining services. Restaurants such as Hokie Grill saw its number of job openings increase this year, and Chick-fil-A opened 2 new positions for workers.
A lot less students have came back from last year. And since last year, our numbers of workers have been dwindling, but the responsibilities have been increasing. So I feel like a lot more people have been taking on a bigger load, when they work.
With the news about all classes going back in person in the fall, all dining centers are looking to be functioning at full capacity next year. NASA is hosting a nationwide competition urging people to try and come up with solutions to practical problems that astronauts might come in contact with. Virginia Tech has a team of its own competing, and they are off to a good start. Team Astra is an all-freshman group that decided to accept the challenge and take on the competition. They decided to create a vehicle that would be able to autonomously find survivors that managed to land themselves in the ocean. The vehicle design is to be able to locate stranded astronauts and deliver emergency rescue supplies. Locating the astronauts is being done by being able to autonomously lock on to signal emitted by the Angel beacon, similar to a black box found on planes.
So we submitted a report to NASA back in the fall semester, and we were selected to compete in the next phase. So we fully designed the vehicle, including the CAD and all of the electronics. And
Team Astra has until the end of May to finish their vehicle and ship it to Texas, where it will be reviewed, judged, and a winner will be declared. The team says that they will be ready and will have everything finished and shipped by the deadline, and they are confident they have a good chance at taking home the win once the winner is announced. On April 22nd, otherwise known as Earth Day, Blacksburg Transit launched 5 new battery electric buses to replace the conventional diesel buses. 2 are 60-foot bendy buses and 3 are 35 feet long. These buses were manufactured by New Flyers and a new model called Excelsior. Newsfeed reporter Alea Burrell has more in this next story.
In September of 2019, Blacksburg Transit tested 2 different brands of electric buses to become more eco-friendly. And just last month, they became one of the first transit agencies in Virginia to receive grant funding for these zero-emissions buses. Lincoln Sklar, Communications and Customer Support Coordinator for Blacksburg Transit, tells more on who helped financially.
So about 51% of the funding came from DRPT, another 47% came from the DEQ, and then 2% came from Virginia Tech.
To reduce their carbon footprint, Blacksburg Transit plans to convert half of their conventional diesel buses to electric in the next 4 years and then go fully electric in the next 10 years, depending on funding.
Built from scratch, these vehicles run on a battery that is charged overnight and then can be driven up to 185 miles. Blacksburg Transit, however, is still in the testing phase and is determining how hills and passenger load can affect its overall mileage. Because there is no engine, these buses are also very quiet compared to the normal diesel ones. Charlie Backlund, lead ITS technician for Blacksburg Transit, explains the pros and cons of a quieter bus.
These buses are quieter. That's actually a good and bad thing. It's good because it's less noise pollution. It's bad because some pedestrians may not realize there's a bus so close to them, but they have a speaker system to warn pedestrians when they are turning.
Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Alea Burrell.
The number of participants in Greek life at Virginia Tech continues to rise each school year. Next fall expected to be no different, with the potential for in-person recruitment events. With that said, there's not an expected rise in diversity involved in fraternities and sororities. According to the former director of fraternity and sorority life at Virginia Tech, Byron Hughes, an increase in student diversity at the school does not guarantee more diverse Greek organizations.
Makeup of Virginia Tech does not correlate necessarily to a more diverse makeup within fraternities and sororities. It all hinges upon how many people do our fraternity and sorority members know that represent a diverse identity.
Although recruiting diverse students is not a requirement for Greek life, Virginia Tech FSL has been taking steps to help the community diversify. The school has started to hold meetings involving Greek organizations focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as how to recruit diverse members of the community. Hughes also added that branching outside of your fraternity and sorority and joining other clubs on campus is the best way to meet people and add different community members to your organization. Stay with us, there's more just ahead on this season finale of the Newsfeed. Coming up, we'll find out what's expected in a planned multi-million-dollar renovation of Virginia Tech's basketball arena. And Virginia Tech opens a new outdoor attraction that will have hokey spinning. Those stories and more after this break.
I hear someone go, "Didn't it come from you guys?"
Strangers cough at me.
Move away from me.
Someone spit towards my direction. All the stereotypes that we've worked so hard to break are just going to be reversed. And I won't let that happen.
We all have to play our part.
I donate my plasma.
I've been making masks.
We deserve respect as much as everybody else.
I'm a firefighter, not a virus.
I'm a mask maker, not a virus.
I'm a nurse.
I'm a delivery woman, chef, a neighbor, artist,
Bus driver.
I'm a doctor.
Fight the virus. Fight the virus.
Welcome back to the Newsfeed. I'm Isabella Sayers. As many Hokies are about to be on their way after graduation, something new is soon to come to Virginia Tech's campus. Newsfeed reporter Ian Hatcher tells us about a multi-million-dollar plan to update Castle Coliseum.
Virginia Tech's Castle Coliseum is about to undergo a major facelift. Virginia Tech AD Whit Babcock announced in late April a plan known as the Reach for Excellence Plan. A major part of that plan was $400 million, and $75 million of which would be used to renovate Castle Coliseum.
Nice for Virginia Tech to be renovating Castle since it hasn't been renovated in a while, and it's showing that they actually are committing to this basketball team.
The early plans for renovation include a new north, east, and west portion of the Coliseum to accommodate those entering from any side, and in addition, they will add a new video board, a better sound system, and all concessions and high-end seating options. From Washington Street, the renovation plans would include a glass extension that borders all the way out to the sidewalk present on Washington Street now. This would allow fans an inside look into the stadium and the new video boards and concourses at all times. The proposed plan doesn't account for more seating, and the hopes are that the seating will remain near 9,000, which is its current capacity.
Mainly, I enjoy going to a lot of basketball games throughout the winter time. It's definitely one of the biggest excitements here at Tech. But going to those games, definitely, we had struggles finding seats. So the only thing I mainly had an issue with about the new renovations to Castle was just not having enough seats, you know.
The plan as of now is that the Hokies won't be playing any games outside of Castle during construction, but early estimations put the renovation at about 4 or 5 years down the line. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Ian Hatcher.
While Blacksburg is known for many things when it comes to sports, many people don't know about the Southeast Regional Training Center. It houses professional wrestlers that get to use the Virginia Tech Wrestling Room as their place to practice and develop. Located inside of the Merriman Center at the Department of Intercollegiate Athletics for Virginia Tech, the Southeast Regional Training Center is home to a handful of the most talented men and women professional wrestlers who compete in various ways. From the UFC to training for the Olympic teams and even competing on international level. While they train for themselves, they also help Hokie wrestlers become their best.
You get to throw them in here, and then you get these college kids, out of high school or still matriculating, and it's someone for them to emulate. Like, oh, there's something that we can do. We can strive for that.
The Southeast Regional Training Center has had an impact on Virginia Tech wrestling, as the Hokies won their first ever individual national champion in 2019 with Makai Lewis, and most recently won the 2021 ACC Dual Meet Championship. Virginia Tech also just capped off an unbeaten regular season and finished the year ranked as high as number 2 in the country. The new Student Athlete Performance Center and Fuel Bar provides student athletes a convenient space to rest and recuperate, with other student athletes between school, training, study hall, and meals. The state-of-the-art center is an exciting addition to help with recruiting, but is it open to all athletes? Despite Virginia Tech claiming that the center is open to all 22 of Virginia Tech's varsity sports, the Spirit Squad is not allowed to use the amenities. The Spirit Squad consists of cheerleaders and high techs, two of the most hard-working, versatile, and visible groups on campus. Not only do the cheerleaders and high techs dance on the sidelines at every home football and basketball game, they make public appearances at community events and compete in national championships. Virginia Tech cheerleader McKinley Winans shares her disappointment in Virginia Tech not recognizing female-dominated sports as equals.
I just think this problem goes beyond Virginia Tech, and it's just embedded in our sports history that they're just considered not as hard.
The reasoning Virginia Tech gave for excluding the cheerleaders and high techs is the fact that the new center is dedicated to the NCAA varsity athletic teams, and the Spirit Squad is not an NCAA-sponsored sport. Virginia Tech made it clear that the Spirit Squad does have access to a nutrition program through a team dietitian. Virginia Tech has made a new addition to campus. For those seeking new forms of recreational sport, this should be thrilling news. April 19th marks the grand opening of Virginia Tech's brand new disc golf course. The course features 2 tee boxes at each of the 9 total basket locations. Located next to the main golf course, players can find the first tee box by following signs from the golf course's clubhouse. Course map and scoreboards are available at hole number 1, and players can park in the gravel lot next to the clubhouse for easy access. Designed by Josh Taft, the distance of this course is roughly 7,286 feet and is a much-needed addition to the existing 3 courses nearby. Alcohol, tobacco, open flames, and pets are not permitted on the course, and players are encouraged to help upkeep by disposing of any visible litter. Well, that wraps up our look at some of the stories making news in the Virginia Tech community. But stick around, coming up, a look at some top stories in the New River Valley. My newsfeed co-anchor Jet Hooker is standing by in the newsroom, and she will take you through the second half of the newscast. Jet?
Thanks, Isabella. That's right, we will be switching gears, turning our focus to the New River Valley. Some of the stories just ahead are how local businesses are adjusting now that COVID restrictions are easing, why a new hotel could be the answer to boost one city's economy and workforce, and which town in the NRV is gaining recognition for its skating culture. We'll tell you, so stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hello, and welcome back to the second half of this special edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Jet Hooker. In the first half of our newscast, we looked at the Virginia Tech stories that are making headlines, and now we turn our attention to news around the New River Valley. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, bar seating in restaurants has been prohibited for over a year now. Governor Ralph Northam recently announced that bar seating in Virginia is now allowed. However, the bars in downtown Blacksburg are not quite there just yet, mainly due to the specific town restrictions. For a little while longer, instead of finding a seat at the bars in Blacksburg, you'll find signs saying, "Please do not approach the bar." Table service only is remaining for the time being. The bars in Blacksburg are hoping to allow socially distanced seating as well as walk-up bar service after graduation. Hokie House co-owner Oliver Marquez touches on why things are currently staying the same.
Keep it this way so we know where to clean, we know where the people are going to be sitting, and it's a lot easier for us since we got a handle on it. We'll wait till after graduation to reevaluate how we want to go moving forward, especially if the restrictions are lifted in the town as well.
With the Hokies football season just around the corner, Marquez is looking forward to getting back to the normal bar scene. Being a popular bar in a college town, strictly table service unfortunately does put a limit on how the Hokie House experience goes. Marquez does say that they are currently working with the town to get an outdoor patio built for customers to enjoy. Libraries across the New River Valley have officially reopened. The decision to reopen comes after the district's infection rate average hit the required numbers. The Montgomery-Floyd regional libraries are now open to the public, and all branches will have checkout and computer access. However, some public programming is still limited. Story time for children has not been re-implemented, only limited seating is being offered, and food is no longer allowed inside the building to discourage patrons from removing their masks. According to Menina Hall, the Blacksburg Library manager, as the numbers get better, more resources will be offered, but for now, she's just happy to have a little normalcy back.
Public programming has not begun with the same level of earnestness with which we were doing it pre-pandemic. But people are coming in and they're using the library, and we're super excited to have them back.
The library will continue to offer curbside service for those who have to self-isolate. The outdoor book drop is also open for use. Overdue fines on items for adults will continue to be suspended until the library staff is able to lift the 24-hour quarantine period for returned items. The number of people getting vaccinated in Virginia is increasing every day, with companies like Pfizer and Moderna providing a majority of the vaccines being distributed around the United States. However, there are also many people who are hesitant in taking the COVID-19 vaccine or even against taking vaccines in general. In Montgomery County, COVID cases have been decreasing daily, and there are plenty of vaccines being offered around the New River Valley. However, news came out recently about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine causing blood clots to very few people out of millions of people who have already taken the vaccine. Most of them have been women who have experienced the blood clots from the vaccine have been for reasons still unknown. News like this raises concerns for some people who may not trust the COVID vaccine or who are already hesitant to take one. Blacksburg resident Elisa Nauplum gives her opinion on why she believes some people are still hesitant to take the COVID vaccine.
The fact that it's like becoming mandatory, people don't like that. Like it's not like an optional thing, I feel like. So that's why people are hesitant, because they feel like it's not their choice. But I don't know, I feel like there are so many worse things than like the vaccine, so I don't know why like people are hesitant about it.
People currently have the choice to get the vaccine, and there are many areas in the New River Valley that offer the vaccine to anyone who wants to get vaccinated. A local group is continuing to get a much-needed help from the New River Valley community. Donors and volunteers have flocked to Sleep in Heavenly Peace, also called SHP, to offer a helping hand. SHP, a national organization answering the call to a national problem, believes that a bed is a basic need for the proper physical, emotional, and mental support that a child needs. SHP expressed through many challenges, including the newsfeed, their urgent need for support, which made it difficult to move forward with providing beds for needy kids. Today, SHP has over 100 beds already to be delivered to needy kids.
There was nothing here. We were completely out of beds, none ready to give to kids. 4 weeks recently, we have built over 200 beds. Great sponsors like the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets, Blacksburg Baptist Church, Blacksburg Church of Christ, Blacksburg Ablaze, and most recently, last Sunday, Belmont Christian Church here in town. Belmont Christian built 100 beds in 8 hours with 200 volunteers.
The SHP organization looks forward to continuing this aid on the road to No Kid Sleeps on the Floor in Our Town, which is their motto. According to SHP, there are still many little children who do not have a bed or even a pillow and are sleeping on couches, blankets, and even floors, which can have a long effect on their happiness and health. In 2019, Radford University announced that a new hotel will be built near campus. Over a year following this announcement, demolition and site preparation has officially begun. The hotel is being funded by the Radford University Foundation and is set to include 125 rooms, a rooftop restaurant, a conference center, and an on-site parking lot. It will be located next to the university's campus at the intersection of Tyler Avenue and Calhoun Street. According to the mayor of Radford, David Horton, the new hotel will bring a level of accommodation that Radford does not currently have.
We also think that with programs coming to the university, but also people coming to the city for a variety of other business activities, that it'll be a real asset. There's also a conference facility associated with this hotel that could bring in additional programming as well.
The groundbreaking for the new hotel that will formally start the construction process is set to take place in the month of June. The hotel will be named the Highlander in efforts to adopt a similar theme to the Radford University mascot. The estimated budget for the Highlander is $20 million with a 2-month construction timeline. Stay with us, there's more just ahead in this special half-hour edition of the Newsfeed. Skating culture and what it looks like in the New River Valley. And what connection does a local nonprofit have with Haitian orphanages? We'll tell you when we return.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Back to the Newsfeed, I'm Jet Hooker. As we continue through the COVID-19 pandemic, there is an issue closer to home that we need to worry about. The methamphetamine and opioid crisis is here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Newsfeed reporter Shanzeh Umarani has more on this story.
Southwest Virginia has been facing an opioid and methamphetamine epidemic for over 20 years, and the crisis has only worsened due to the isolation that the current pandemic has created. Students and permanent residents alike are faced with the issue of addiction. However, resources around the New River Valley are ready to help. David English, chief of the Blacksburg Rescue Squad, explained that his teams are geared up to assist in every way they can.
From the rescue squad standpoint, mostly we deal with the response side of it. So if they are experiencing an overdose that's serious enough, then we do carry Narcan or naloxone on all of the units that we have.
According to the Virginia Department of Health, the overdose rate in Southwest Virginia, particularly Pulaski and Giles County, has grown by 25%. With this rate slowly increasing, it's incredibly important for a community to stand together and spread awareness of the crisis. Mike Wade, Community Wellness and Outreach Coordinator for the New River Valley Community Services Branch in Pulaski, is doing just that.
Issue in our communities, while there has been some issues around prescription medications and opioids of that nature, I think most people would tell you that for us, methamphetamines are enemy number one.
New River Valley Narcotics Anonymous has multiple branches and programs across Southern Virginia, and New River Valley Community Services continue to destigmatize the issue of addiction and hope to bring awareness across the Commonwealth. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Shanzeh Umarani.
The New River Valley Mall has recently partnered with vendors for a weekend of fun and charity at what's called the 2021 Spring Carnival. The carnival featured many events and ways to help others in need, including those in other countries. Newsfeed reporter Casey Barrett has more in this story.
The New River Valley Mall will be hosting the 2021 Spring Carnival and Craft Fair from 10 a.m. Saturday to 8 p.m. Sunday, featuring vendors like Loving Haiti One Child at a Time. Founder Leah Payton explains how the art is made.
We buy metal artwork such as this, which is made out of 55-gallon steel drums. We buy directly from the artisans in a community called Quad a Bouquet. Again, paying them a fair wage so that they can support their family. Ultimately, one of Loving Haiti's goals is to create work to keep that family unit together.
All proceeds will be returned to the Port-au-Prince community by hosting medical clinics, employing locals, and creating revenue in order to keep families together.
We definitely support with other needs, school. We're partnering to ensure that all the kids are in school. Feeding, if there's a feeding issue or a food issue per se. When there was a crisis when COVID first hit, we were able to purchase food, have it delivered.
Watson Delvar, translator for Loving Haiti One Child at a Time, has shared some of the benefits he has seen in the Port-au-Prince community.
But the difference is you are going deep with the community, working first with the orphanage, which is a lot of kids in the needs. And
for more information on how you can contribute, go to lovinghaityonechild.com. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Casey Barrett.
Blacksburg is known for its array of outdoor activities. Most would guess hiking, biking, and frolicking, but a few would think skateboarding. Newsfeed reporter Brandon Alamistiano has more in this next story.
When people think of skating culture, they probably don't think about Blacksburg, Virginia. And they're right. But outside of Greenhouse on College Avenue and near Squires Student Center, these kids make this humid mountain town almost look like Southern California.
There's just like a lot of people who just meet every weekend, and sometimes on the weekdays. We come out and we just skate at the park and stuff. We have a lot of fun, and everybody knows each other.
I started playing lacrosse and it got canceled because of COVID, and I needed something to do, and I saw it on TikTok and Instagram. And I was like, maybe I'll try that.
The pandemic has given them the time to hone in their skills and try out some new tricks, truly becoming part of Blacksburg skating culture, which has a lot more to it under its surface than just the grip tape.
They see people skating out here and they're like, yo, what's up? And you're like, hey, what's up? And they're like, you wanna go hit some street spots? And it's like, sweet. And go to all these different spots that other people have, and it's like, it's just really cool because you can just go everywhere.
Everywhere is right, and the Blacksburg Skate Park, located less than 2 miles from campus, is no exception.
While the kids at Squires and the regulars at the Blacksburg Skate Park make it look easy, it's not exactly child's play, as I demonstrate right now.
perhaps best left in the hands of more experienced skaters. Reporting from Blacksburg, I'm Brandon Alamanestiano.
That will wrap up this special edition of the Newsfeed. The Newsfeed will be going on a hiatus for a few months, but we'll be returning in September with a new group of journalists and a new series of stories to keep you up to date about what's going on in Virginia Tech and the New River Valley. While we are away, if you have a story idea, send them our way. You can connect with us on Facebook or Twitter or send us an email at thenewsfeednrb@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jed Hooker. For all of us at the Newsfeed, we hope you enjoy the rest of spring and have a safe and wonderful summer.